I said, brr, it's cold in here. There must be a January TBR in the atmosphere. I said, brr, it's cold in here. Just forget it. In all seriousness, the forecast for this month calls for bone-chilling horror reads, some frosty readathons, and a dash of feline fun. So join me as I dive into my Winterween picks, I pounce on the Catuary Readathon prompts, and I reveal my frosty, fright-filled picks for my January TBR. Welcome, fellow freaks, geeks, and nostalgic peeps, to my channel, Slime and Slashers, where, yeah, we talk about everything, including horror books. Today's video, it is my TBR video, as I said in the intro, and we're gonna jump right in. Starting off with my book club books, and I do have a public and free book club. The Discord is linked down below. We are called the Midnight Book and Film Society because I am launching a film component on my film channel. So more to come about what the film choices are. There'll only be 4 films for the year, but it's all discussed on the same Discord. And so for the book for January, our official book is The Bone Weaver's Orchard, and that is a YA book, and it seems to take place at a school. Apparently it has cold vibes, I think. There are secrets that are waiting to be unburied and discovered, and one little boy at the school ends up uncovering those secrets. But I'm sure there is something that goes incredibly wrong as he starts to dig up the deep, dark past. Next up, I've got a Patreon-only book club that I just started this year, and it's called the Cornucopia. It's open to my middle and top tiers for my Patreon channel, but also my YouTube memberships. Again, the info for both of those are linked below. And our first read, it's quarterly book club, but we're doing an extra one for January. So our first read is going to be Guests by Keelan Patrick Burke. It's a little novella, and it's definitely got cold vibes, at least according to the cover, and I don't really know any more about it, and I don't want to know. I just want to experience it, so I'm not going to tell you guys much about it because I don't want to know much about it. In addition to those 2 book club books, I also have a buddy read that I'm doing with a few of my Patreon members of the book Ancients by R. Carl Largent. And obviously, look at this cover. It's cold as hell looking. So this one, of course, it has to do with ancient evil. And it even says, let's see, I'm sure there's a great blurb.
A novel to make the blood run cold by the master of sinister fiction.
And luckily, the font really isn't that small, so I'm excited about it. Even though it looks long, it's not going to be as long as some other old school paperbacks, because the font's rather, I don't know, I guess manageable, rather big, whatever. But I'm excited, and I hope I actually get to this. In terms of other people's book clubs, I do want to get to my friend Katrina's book club. You could find Katrina over at the channel Katrina Brown, and her book club is called the Reaper Book Club, and I can't even remember the name of the book, but I'll put up a picture of it right here. The cover is freaking gnarly. That is all I remember about it when she talked about it in her TBR video. It's like a scissors and a tongue, and I can't handle that stuff. So I'm intrigued by the cover alone. We will see. I think it's pretty short, so I'm excited to try to fit that one in. And as I discussed in the intro, there is Winterween, and there's also my friend's event, Catuary, happening in the month of January, the month that we are currently in. It's just started, so I don't think this TBR is too late, but I am doing those 2 readathons. I'm also doing the Poe Nevermore readathon hosted by my friend Kat over at Kat's Novel Adventures, so she's just going to be doing a lot of Poe themed reading. I will link her channel below for more details, but I will be participating in that. I'll just read a Poe story or 2. But I'm also participating in Catuary and Winterween as well, like I said. So first let's talk about Winterween. There are very easy prompts, just a few prompts, and I am going to use it as an excuse to read a whole bunch of Fear Street winter books and Point Horror winter books. So it's going to be a specific Winterween themed Fear Street vlog that I'll be doing in January, and I'm so excited. Well, Fear Street / point horror / YA old school teen vlog, whatever. So it works for prompts and it works for the vlog. I'm excited. Because I wanted to do this, like, Fear Street vlog regardless of Winterween. It just so happens that it all works together. So some of the books for that vlog, we're going to start off with 2-point horror books. We've got The Snowman by R.L. Stine, and then another book with a snowman on the cover, Someone at the Door by Richie Tankersley Cusick. So these will be great, and I think I have the audio for this one, which I didn't even realize there was audio, but I have it on my spreadsheet down there that it says own audio. So I really should have no reason not to get to this one. Now for some Fear Street books that I definitely want to get to. I will be reading Ski Weekend because that'll be wintry and Fear Street related. And then Truth or Dare. These are great. The freaking covers are fantastic. Let me just show you this one again. I like this cover better, but they're both great. All right, and I do have another point horror and another Fear Street. So the other Fear Street I would like to get to is Cheerleaders, The First Evil, and that's going to be a lot of fun. I have a bind up of the new edition. It's like all of the Cheerleader series in a newer edition. My friend Amy from Amy Noel Reads gifted me that. Thank you so much, Amy. So I will be trying to get to the first book in this vlog, even though it's not wintry. I just want to get to it. And last but not least, for that Winterween / point horror Fear Street vlog, I'd like to squeeze in Freeze Tag. It's a point horror book, as you can see right here. And look at this great cover. Bloody hands coming out of some ice.
Tag, you're dead!
Okay, and more about Catuary. That, again, is run by my friend Andrew over at the channel It Came From The Page. He's linked below. Check him out. This is a Patreon-only readathon, so if you belong to his Patreon channel, like I do, you can join in on this very, very fun readathon event. So he let his members submit their name of their cats or their dogs who become basically honorary cats for this event, and we could make up prompts for our cats and dogs. So I have a cat that passed away a number of years ago. Her name was Panda. So there is a prompt for my cat Panda, and also I made Jackson an honorary cat and submitted a prompt called Jackson for the event. So I will definitely be doing prompts in honor of them. And the great thing is there are so many versatile, easy to fill prompts. There's stuff about listening to an audiobook. There's stuff about reading a long book, a short book, a book that you've been afraid to read, all kinds of things. So literally all the books I've been talking about throughout this whole TBR video will most likely work for Catuary prompts. So I'm not going to go through the prompts because, again, it's a private Patreon event, but just know that every book I mention is going to fit those prompts, and these books will definitely fit some of the prompts. So these are my other two kind of priority reads for the month, and they're kind of chunkers. If I had to choose one over the other, I would choose this one. So let me talk about each. This is the one that I may or may not get to. This is Fur. It is part of the Red Eye, I believe. Yes, the Red Eye YA series that was released a couple of years ago. A book from that line that you might be familiar with is Frozen Charlotte or Charlotte Says. Both of those books are from the Red Eye series. But this one is another wintry one that seems really fun. It's Fur by Sharon Gosling. The Forest Will Not Forgive. So it's got a forest setting. It says,
We are the trees, we are the snow, we are the winter, we are the peace, we are the rage.
This just seems so good, and I've had my eye on this for years. When I was out book shopping with my friends Cameron and Benjamin, when I went up to visit them during October, I found a physical copy at a Half Price Books, and I scooped it up. So it seems like I should make this even bigger of a priority this year over past years, because now I actually own it. So hopefully I can get to it, but I will say that even bigger of a priority than this is Native Fear, because I did buy this full price, and I've had this for a few years now, whereas I just bought this one. Alright, so Native Fear, I've heard great things. I had heard nobody else talk about this, but my friend M commented on my video where I was showing off all my winter books, and she said she loved Native Fear. Shout out to M. Her channel is linked below. She is fantastic. I love her. I love her. And once she said she loved this, I was like, okay, I'm actually less afraid now of the length, now that you said it's good, and I'm more willing to dive in. So this one, it's a chunker, but I've got a lot of hype surrounding this one now that I've heard M talk positive things, and it even says here,
Winter 2017, Ollie is on the run and hundreds of miles from his home. He winds up passing through Coyote Village, If he'd taken a left or a right at the main street intersection, he'd be fine, but he, unaware of the ill-omened genius loci of the Elkhorn Ranch, went straight. He went up Old Willow Road, and not being a local, he hadn't known about the sinister rumors. Everything ranging from satanic worship to scientific experiments and stranger things.
I'm so excited! This is gonna be great. I can't wait. I can't wait. Alright, and 2 final books. One is an ARC that was kindly sent to me by the author digitally. Thank you very, very much. It is an animal attack book, and if you've been a longtime viewer of mine, you'll know that I love animal attack books. So this one I was excited about. It's called Snarl by Eric S. Brown, and he was so sweet to reach out to me, and he said the nicest thing in his email about how much he liked my channel, and because I love a good animal attack, I was like, all of these factors come together to make this a very easy decision to try to get to this arc. So I'm really hyped. I think it's going to be great. The cover rules. So I'm ready for a good animal attack book. It's been a while since I read one, so it's time that I dive back into them. Another book I hope to get to in January, it just depends on if it comes in time or not. It is Cold Front by Barry Hammond, and if you know anything about vintage horror, you will know that this book is so rare. I never thought any publisher would ever re-release this book. However, there is a new-to-me publishing company that I just found out about called Fathom Press, and they are republishing Cold Front. And so I've already pre-ordered my copy. They may send it out January, February, I don't know. Whenever it gets to me, I will 100% be reading it. Another thing coming out in January, but this is a new release, not a republished old school book. This is a new release, and that is the new Grady Hendrix, Witchcraft for Wayward Girls. I can't wait! I love everything by Grady Hendrix. I don't think anything I've ever read from him has been under a 4, ever. So I am highly anticipating this one, and I'm hoping to get to it right away in January. But who knows, it may fall into February, only time will tell. And then I have a few other books on my radar, but I'm going to keep it light and not mention the other books that I may try to squeeze in if there is time. Originally, I was going to read books like The Terror by Dan Simmons, but there is no way. There is no way I'm going to squeeze in The Terror. I don't even own a copy, so I'd rather try to get to some things that I actually already own. Even though I do own the audio for The Terror, that'll just be another fun read for another winter. Alright guys, that is it for my TBR, but if you're looking for more videos from me, I did just release some great videos I'm super proud of. I released a top 10 hidden gem reads that I discovered in 2024, so books I read in 2024 that are underrated. They all have under 400 ratings on Goodreads, some have under 100 ratings. Actually, a lot of them have under 100, which is crazy. And the other one I just released is my top reads of 2024, so books I read in 2024, but they were published a multitude of different years. And it was just my favorites of the year. So if you are curious and haven't seen either of those videos yet, I will link them down below and in the cards as well. Please check those out. And I would love to know if you've read any of the books on my TBR list. If so, which ones? Are you going to be reading along with us for the Midnight Book Society? Are you going to be reading the Bone Weaver's Orchard with us? Let me know any of that down below. And if you do want to leave a comment but you can't think of what to say, you could always leave a little snowman or a little sled emoji, or I'm trying to think of other wintry things. Anything winter, a snowflake, it doesn't matter, because I am definitely going ham on my winter theme this season, this month specifically, and I'm trying to read very atmospheric, very wintry reads, because those are some of my favorite books of all time, is a book with a winter setting. So let's go! I'm here for the cold vibes, baby! I said, brr! It's cold in here. Anyway, that's enough freaking quoting, flippin', bring it on. I'm going to stop, I swear. Alright guys, but for this time, that is it for me. Till next time, you know what you can do. Keep on killing it. Bye guys.